A very warm welcome to the first edition of the Wise Owl Studio Talks. I'm Racha Singh, editor, The Wise Owl, a literary and art e-magazine. And today, it's my pleasure to welcome in our studio our guest, Harmeet Singh, a doctor, a former civil servant, and now a full-time artist. Hi Harmeet, it's great to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm really looking forward to this conversation, so shall we just dive into the conversation?
Definitely.
Okay, so Harmeet, let me start with an icebreaker kind of a question. I believe you were studying for pediatrics and then fate somehow played hopscotch with you and you joined the Indian Revenue Service instead. So tell us, what made you switch gears from being a doctor to a taxman? I mean, both roles and occupations are very, very different.
This is a very interesting story. After I had done my MBBS, we were standing at a roadside tea stall having tea, 4 in the evening. And 2 of my colleagues, classmates, were carrying some forms in their hand, and I asked them, what are these? They said, we are appearing for UPSC civil services. I said, I had no idea about civil services. I said, what is your experience with that? They say, oh, there's one general studies and one subject and 2 subjects and we'll be able to do it. I thought to myself, I am the topper of MBBS, I am the state level quizzing champion, and these guys are there giving UPSC, so let me also appear. And I filled up the forms and cleared the prelims, the mains, and then aced the interviews, and 1 year down the line I was into the civil services. No thought, no idea, but just happened like that on a whim, trying to prove to them that I can also do it.
So basically it is kudos to your friends, right?
Yes, exactly. And they didn't qualify.
Yes, that's the irony of life.
Yeah.
Okay, so Harmeet, that goes without saying that as an IRS officer holding various prestigious assignments, your job would have been very, very challenging.
Yes.
And I also believe for 5 years you were shouldering the task of a financial advisor and deputy director to PGI, the Premier Medical Institute in Chandigarh here, which again must have been extremely demanding. So I'm very curious to know, with an occupation that involved taxation and medicine, how did you pursue your love for art?
I think 2 things. One is that it's a 5-day week, so your weekends are yours.
Right.
Most weekends are yours. And secondly, there's a very high stress, so you need to de-stress yourself, release that stress.
Right.
And painting to me provided that outlet. The higher the stress, the more intense were the colors. I still remember making a painting in yellow, red and black, just 3 colors.
Right.
I was under tremendous pressure, but those colors got me out of that stress. It was a stress buster for me, and it continued throughout my career.
Right. So in 2018, you again switched gears. I mean, from a doctor to a taxman, and then again switching gears to being an artist. Now, most people probably would have discouraged you from quitting the service. I mean, you were at a very prestigious and high post, a senior bureaucrat in the Indian Revenue Service. So tell us, I mean, it must have involved a huge leap of faith, in fact, for you switching gears. So tell us about the whys and the wherefores of your decision.
Again, I think there were 2 things. One, since I had done it before as a doctor, I switched to civil services. So again, doing such a flip-flop or flip-over was not difficult for me. But the main reason was that all along in my career, I had been studying hard, working hard, topping exam, cracking another exam, in the job also trying to meet targets, exceeding them, and getting very outstanding reports. I felt I had done enough of being the chaser of goals. Enough, and now I want to do something which I always wanted to do. That was do something which fulfills my innermost desire. That was to be creative, to paint, to express myself, and in a way leave a legacy for future generations, for say next 100, 200 years. The work there is buried in the files. This is one thing which would remain for the world to see, that these paintings, these things, that I said, let me create something for the future generations and for my fulfillment. So then I said, okay.
So basically art for you is an outlet, for expressing your innermost feelings and for creating a legacy,
yes,
as you said.
Both things.
So tell us, I'm sure all our viewers would be very curious to know about this. We've talked about your journey, as a doctor, as a taxman, and then as an artist. But tell us, how did it all start, this love for art that you have? Were there any creative influences in your life? Perhaps some people who influenced you, who mentored you, who encouraged you while you walked this path as an artist? Or perhaps some incidents which, impacted you?
Taking me back to the old days.
Yeah.
I think college, in the medical college, I was participating in art competitions, collage making. I was very good in collage making.
Yes.
And after I had done my civil services examination, there was a gap of 4-5 months. There was nothing to do. In that period, I picked up a drawing course book, which was 300 volumes, 300 volumes. And that had the entire gamut of drawing history, all media, and from 13th century to the modern day. So I did study a lot of it, copied a lot of artwork, got me interested. And then I got to the academy in Nagpur, and there was a lot of encouragement. I painted a lot there. And in Jalandhar, we had a body called Punjab Art Heritage.
That was your first posting, right?
Yeah.
Jalandhar.
Yes, where we were able to get 20 best sculptors and artists for every year for 3 years. And there I met Prem Singh and Shiv Sim, two great artists.
Yeah.
And they became kind of my friends and mentors and guides. And they, for a number of years, helped me, guided me, influenced me, and took me on to this journey. Slowly it became a full-time passion for me. Throughout my service I was painting, and now it's last few years.
So basically Prem Singh and Shiv Singh were your gurus.
They were. Shiv Singh is no more, but Prem Singh is in Delhi in Gadi Studios.
Right.
So they've been big influence for me.
So Harmeet, I was looking at your work and I realized that you started out doing watercolors and dabbling a little bit in pastels also, but mostly, predominantly, your work was watercolors. So that's a very difficult medium to control. So tell us a little about what made you gravitate towards this difficult medium.
Watercolors has, as you said, a difficulty level is there, but it is also a very quick medium. So it takes about half an hour to 1 hour to get your work completed.
Right.
And the downside is that you make a mistake and the whole process goes to zero.
Absolutely.
You can't rework over it or repaint. And what impressed me was to watch the flow of color and water, and the uncertainty of where the color will go and where it will flow. Because I believe in abstract flows on the paper.
Right.
So that really excites me to see how two colors will react, how the color will flow on the paper, how the temperature, the atmosphere is going to influence the spread.
Right.
So that was very interesting for me, and to create new patterns every time was very satisfying.
Amazing.
But over a period of time you tend to get into a groove. You start repeating the same thing. So to break that mold, I said, let me try two new mediums, acrylics and soft pastels. Acrylics lets me do very intense colors, and colors like teal, cobalt, Lot of greens, lot of shades of blue. Pastels gives me to work in shades of gray, shades of mauve, contrast them. And then when you go back to watercolors, you pick whatever you've learned here, you take back those techniques to your watercolors. You have a new expression in watercolors and improvement. I think all media are basically letting you explore your skill level, telling you that you don't know much and still lot to learn. So it's interesting switching mediums.
So when I was walking through the gallery, your gallery Studio Irises, I was looking at your works, your acrylics, your watercolors, and I realized that most of them are abstracts. Even the painting here that is hanging here, pointillism, this is also more or less an abstract. So what made you want to do abstracts? Because in India, I've seen that most people tend to veer towards figurative work, less towards arts. Yours are absolute abstractions, but lovely, beautiful, bright colors that brighten up, you know, the atmosphere around. So tell us, how do people respond to your abstracts?
Yes, I've had this issue a number of times. People look at my painting and they say, what is this? We don't understand.
Right.
So I tell them, do you feel happy looking at it or do you feel sad? No, they say it gives a very happy feeling. I said, then my job is done. Because my aim is to spread joy and happiness through my colors. Figure is just one form of representing that joy. Color for me, painting is the color itself is the painting. You don't need anything to define your colors. You have warm, happy, bright colors. They give you joy. You enjoy looking at them. They bring freshness in your room, and that's it. So that's why I think abstraction appeals to me. It's slightly more difficult, but it is more exciting to work with.
Right. So Harmeet, you are a very multifaceted personality. I was just checking out your website and I realized that you are not just an artist, you're also an avid birder, you're also a photographer of birds and butterflies. So tell me how you became a birder, and more importantly, tell me how you picked up the camera to shoot, no pun intended, how you picked up the camera to shoot your birds, butterflies and nature around you.
I think it was one of our family visits. We had gone to Agra and we happened to visit Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. And that's where for the first time I saw huge flocks of painted storks and ibises and
beautiful.
So many birds. They had come for wintering, and that image kind of stuck with me. And then slowly I started watching birds through binoculars, and that time cameras were very expensive, not affordable. And we didn't have those huge telephoto lenses. But now I think cameras are available, they are within your budget, and you get very good DSLRs and telephoto lenses. And slowly then you learn the art of photographing them. But for me, to go 5:30 in the morning into the forest or into the mountains and see a new bird, the beautiful plumage, the bright colors, and you feel this is God expressing himself. And you met God at his best. He doesn't live in Gurdwara, Mandir, mosque or a church. He's here.
True.
And to see that beauty of nature in wild, pristine form, that is what brings me back every time to nature, to view nature and to capture its beauty and glory. So that's how birds, butterflies, two of the brightest expressions. I've been trying to look at them and capture them.
That in fact reminds me of my favorite lines from Wordsworth. He said, "My heart leaps up when I see a rainbow in the sky. So was it when I was born. So is it now I am a man. So be it when I grow old, or let me die."
Very true, very true, wonderful.
So Harmeet, a lot of our viewers would be upcoming artists. So would you like to share your guru mantra with our viewers here?
You're putting me on a pedestal. I am still learning. See, this is a process where you sit every day before a blank canvas, and when you pick up the brush or the color, it talks to you and you talk, and it's a conversation that what are you going to put on the canvas today. So it's a learning thing. Every day you learn new things, new experiences. But one thing which started right from the beginning was never to try to copy a style or copy a person or copy some trend.
Yes.
Express yourself, be yourself.
Right.
Slowly and slowly your inner self emerges on the canvas, and in the room there's a painting and there's a viewer. You are not there. So your painting has to talk to the viewer.
True.
And if it is an original work, it will talk about you, talk about your experience, and that's it. And like someone said to me, it is not your job to make money or get famous.
Right.
Your job is to paint, and your grandchildren will reap the benefits of your hard work after a few years.
Right.
So that's what I always
It's
believe.
going to be a very bright, colorful legacy that you're going to leave for your grandchildren,
I hope
I'm
they
sure.
like it. They like it.
So, okay, Harmeet, another thing, when I was walking through the studio, I saw a whole lot of your photographs of birds and butterflies.
Right.
And they look really gorgeous. So, have you ever thought of putting them all together, maybe in a coffee table book or some such format?
Yes, exactly. I have about 350 odd birds and butterflies.
Wow, that's
different
a huge
species.
number. Huh?
Huge number. But then I thought, let me put them together and weave a story around them, about the myths about those birds, the fables, their feeding habits, their mating habits, the mating dances, and in the different forms, the male and female forms. Let me bring that together in a book. So we are working, it's tentatively titled Birds of Shivalik Hills, which is the area I normally do my bird watching. And it's going to be more of a narrative friendly style writing with images of birds. And I hope by next year we should be able to get a coffee table book on this.
I'm sure that such a book is going to really engage the readers across ages. So I'm really looking forward to reading your book once it hits the bookstores. So on that happy note, I think we'll have to conclude our conversation.
Thank you.
Because the clock is ticking away.
Yes.
And it's time that I bid adieu to our viewers. But dear viewers, wait for the next episode. This time we are going to get you Neena Singh, an award-winning poet. So tune in to our next episode. Till then, goodbye. Have a great day.